Okay, so Shabbat Shalom will begin with Yudhi Nefesh. And sorry, I just have to also. Great. So we'll begin with Yudhi Nefesh. Yudhi Nefesh. Oh. Sorry, I was like, for a moment, I was thinking, wow, that's a very different key. That feels very different than usual, that we were in the wrong key. Yudhi Nefesh Apara Chama Meshochava Beretzona Yamotzava Kemaya Ishtachava So Shabbat Shalom and welcome. And so as we reach the end of our week, as we imitate God and being able to rest on Shabbat, of being able to find a sense of peace and success, I think it's always worth noting that there's some projects that we're able to at least pause, that still have much more work to do, that I know, of course, as we're getting closer to Rosh Hashanah, as I'm having to prepare sermons, as well as working with our service leaders, that I felt like today, even as I maybe wasn't able to fully finish anything, that I was able to at least, get a great sense of progress and was able to really look back in pride. And so I think that's a reminder that even as the promise of Shabbat is to enter it in with this sense of full completion, that we're able to at least take comfort and inspiration in those small successes. And so we'll continue with using that to bring us to a place of praise and gratitude with Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena l'Adonai, Navia l'Tzoyishenu. Lechu Neranena l'Adonai, Navia l'Tzoyishenu. Lekana Chana B'Torah, Yizmirat Navia lo. Lekana Chana B'Torah, Yizmirat Navia lo. We'll continue with Yismechu Hashamayim. That both the heavens as well as the earth are able to give thanks. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, et hagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, et hagel haaretz. Next, we'll continue with Psalm 29 as we capture that feeling of really everything coming together at the end of a busy week of creation, being able to have this sense of joy that comes with such busyness. So we continue. Psalm 29, it's traditional to rise, if you're able. Mizmor leDavid, Avul Adonai b'nei, Avul Adonai kavod. Avul Adonai kavod shemo, Yishmor Avul Adonai arat kodesh, Avul Adonai al hamayim el hakavod, Yirim Adonai al mayim ramim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai lehadai. Adonai shover azim, v'shamer Adonai et azay haolano, v'yakidem kemo ega Lebanon v'Sirion, kemo Nemeim, Kol Adonai chosef avodesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar. Yachil Adonai v'Kadesh, Kol Adonai v'chol elayalo, vayecheso ye'avo, u'pechalo, kulo, omer kavod, Adonai lama, v'yashav v'yeshev Adonai, melech leolam, Adonaios, Le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech etamo v'shalom. So you may be seated. We'll continue welcoming Shabbat with the Chadodi. Chadodi, Likrat Kadam, Bene Shabbat, Dekavelo, Shamor ושמו אחד לשם תלך ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Yatom Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Yatom Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. So Shabbat Shalom. I think I should have mentioned this before we sang Lecha Dodi, but this week, as we read from Parashat Shoftim, the Haftorah, which comes from the book of Isaiah, is all the Haftorah between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah do. That actually it's this week that we have and a lot of the language that we use in Lecha Dodi comes from the passages that we read from the book of Isaiah during this time. And so it's really this week in having this vision of a return and renewal that we get many of the most striking images of Lecha Dodi. And so when we're in synagogue tomorrow and get to the Haftorah, if you open your ears, you'll hear many of those familiar phrases. So it's, I think, always good to be able to see that our prayers really do connect us to the Tanakh, to the Bible, and that when we're able to then keep those in our ears, it really can deepen our experience of the prayers. So I think that's important to know. But something else that then appears in Parashat Shoftim, other than this, high sort of spiritual practice of, that we're able to have within our Haftorah reading, is something that's a lot more grounded, and is something that's a lot harder. That really one of the questions that our Torah reading is trying to answer this week is, how do we stop a cycle of violence? That of course it feels like as people get into a fight, starting to exchange blows, that it seems like you should just be able to stop. That you can just stop, walk away, and not fight. Which of course is something that you try to instill, whether it's between children or in a classroom, of really recognizing that at any point it can show an even bigger maturity to stop and walk away. But of course, in reality, some of the most basic human emotions get in the way. So that it's, I think, a very legitimate fear. I think as we are seeing in the war in Israel right now, that's the fear that if one side were to simply stop, that it really then would be the case that the other side would take advantage of it and attack even more. And so it keeps up that cycle of violence. But of course, in another, perhaps on a more person-to-person scale, that often the need for revenge becomes this obsession that keeps a circle of violence going. And so I'll just perhaps nerd out for a moment that whenever I think about it, that I always return to the Greek tragedies of the Oresteia by Aeschylus. That really, as he's talking about the murders between the family of Agamemnon, that it becomes this question of then how are you able to really stop this cycle of revenge? And in the final play, the Furies of this trilogy, that in a way that seems like it would have been amazing to see, it describes how these Furies, these Greek gods of revenge, really then sort of burst out onto the stage in this horrifying way, and as the play continues, that they then transform from these and having some sort of physical transformation at the same time of going from this physical embodiment of revenge into judges and seeing that revenge is something that should then be taken care of by a legal system rather than interpersonal revenge. And in many places, we see that Judaism does something similar without the narrative, without the story. But our Torah reading this week fills in a gap in that problem. And that's the gap of an accident. That describes, what happens when really a freak accident leads to someone's death. And the example the Torah uses is if someone is chopping wood and the head of the axe flies off and hits someone else. So something that really is truly an accident that no one could have predicted and, even normal caution wouldn't have stopped. What do? That it imagines the family member of the person who died would want to take revenge. That simply saying it was an accident, that it was not on purpose, that there was no bad intent, would not be enough to really quell that feeling that someone had to pay. And so instead, what we read in the Torah is that once the Israelites settle in the land of Israel, that they're supposed to create 3 cities of refuge. And these are places that are supposed to be safe. That for someone who has accidentally led to someone else's death, that they're able to go there and be protected from that family seeking revenge. And in fact, not only is it the case that once they're there, they're safe, but in fact, if the family does take revenge before the person who committed the accidental manslaughter is able to make it to these towns, that they've committed a capital offense. And so I think we're able to then see, a lot of ancient traditions, a lot of building society is really dealing with these base emotions. One that, of course, living a few thousand years later, that we've continued to do our best to, channel those emotions in more productive ways. Of course, we still have court systems. We still make that distinction about intent of when something is an accident. That even though we continue to have these structures, that our sort of human tendency to have those strong emotions that can lead us to want to take revenge, that really give in to that cycle of violence, are still there. And so in some ways that's disheartening, because it means that we really have not made much progress since, the sort of, more ape-like ancestors of humans, when they came down to the tree, that essentially that animal brain is still there. But I think we're able to then appreciate how this has been a struggle for so long, and that it really has been able to achieve much success. And so I hope that each of us are able to then embody that sense of being able to let perhaps the intellectual side of ourselves, of understanding, of being able to see that wider picture, be able to do a little more to prevent that animalistic instinct for revenge. And so, of course, as we then turn to Achenu, our prayer for the hostages, recognizing this week the tragic discovery of 6 of the hostages who were murdered by Hamas, that we're able to then, I think, keep ourselves within that healthy place of knowing that it is necessary to then have justice. That really Hamas has again and again shown that they are not fit for leadership, that they really have lost a deep sense of what it means to see other people as human. And then we can, but at the same time, that we're able to then focus that our goal is to then bring the remaining hostages home and to be able to one day create a place of peace, one that requires everyone to then stop that cycle. And so we'll continue praying that the hostages may go from a place of captivity to freedom with the prayer Achenu. Achenu, O Beit Yisrael. Achenu, O Beit Yisrael. Hanetuni betzata, betzata uvashivya. Haomnim ben baya, uben baya vasham. Hamakom Yerachem, Yerachem, Aleichem ve'yotziem mitzara, v'yirvacha, u'meyafel aleyova, v'shivu, v'geula hashta, v'gala u'mezman parim. So we'll continue with Mi Sheberach, our prayer for physical and spiritual healing. Mi Sheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu, may the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So this week in our Har El community, we're remembering Thor Gershman, father of Mats Gershman, Moses Soloway, father of Bram Soloway, Ben Boltz, father of Alan Boltz, Jerry Morris, father of Ellen Durnley, Eric Raymond Paul, brother of Tina Holbert, Ronald Brian Fish, father of Stephanie Stoke, Anne Soloway, mother of Stephen Soloway, and Mary Smolensky, mother-in-law of David Nemes. We pray that their memory may be for a blessing. We continue evoking the end of Mourner's Kaddish with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom B'mrama, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'apo Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'apo Yisrael, 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 Ve'imeru, Ve'imeru, Amen. Wonderful. So Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining. And so our services tomorrow will start at 10 a.m. And this week Kiddush will be sponsored by Marilyn Shore, Robert Dominguez and family in memory of Marilyn's father, Izzy Shore. And on Sunday, September 8th at 2 p.m. will be the rally at the Art Gallery for a call to release the hostages, and I will also this week include a special intention of remembering the six and memorializing the 6 hostages who were found murdered last week. And then looking further ahead, of course, the high holidays are coming up. We ask that people register so that we're able to make sure we have the right number of chairs set up. And this year, in something that's slightly different, for the breakfast after Ne'ilah, it's just going to be open to everyone, so there's no sign up for that. And it'll be just a sort of light breakfast, but just a quick a place to get a quick bite before going home. And so coming up in September is very busy. That first, the Sisterhood opening meeting will be next Tuesday, September 10th at 7 p.m. about how hearing loss is brain health. And then further ahead, on Friday, September 20th at 6 p.m., I will be Kabbalat Shabbat and a Mexican dinner, themed Shabbat dinner. And that'll be going back to having Shabbat dinners on the 3rd Friday of each month. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll have to skip November because of some work in the building, but throughout the rest of the year, it'll continue, 3rd Friday of each month. And on Sunday, September 22nd at 11 a.m. will be a session called More Than Apples and Honey, about preparing your family for high holidays. So it's more for parents and grandparents to learn how to make your high holidays more engaging and enjoyable for children. And then there'll also be a class for more everyone on Wednesday, September 25th at 7 on Zoom. To just learn about the basic themes of high holidays, as well as to know what happens, so you can better plan your experience. Because services can be long, and so if you are only going to come for a short period of time, you should come for the things that will be most meaningful. And then on Sunday, September 22nd at 2 p.m. will be the next Har El Hikers, and Monday, September 23rd at 7 p.m., and this will be in person, as the Sisterhood Book Club reading The Wolf Hunt by Ayelet Gunnar Goshen. And that's going to be moderated by Helena Rath. So a lot going on, and we'll be finishing our service now with Vishamru and our grape juice and challah. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat Asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam b'chitotam Beini u'bein Yisrael Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam b'chitotam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shabbat Asot et ha'shabbat L'dorotam b'chitotam U'vayom hashlish Shabbat v'yinachash Shabbat v'yinachash Shabbat v'yinachash Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shabbat Asot et ha'shabbat L'dorotam b'chitotam Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. So I'm going to go wash my hands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.